Today we will be studying about the vacuoles. Vacuoles are actually organelles which are seen to be present both in the plant and in the animal cell. However, the size of the vacuole is different in the plant and in the animal cell. We see the presence of one central, very large vacuole in the plants and many small vacuoles in animal cells. The number of vacuole varies in animal cells according to the functioning of the cell. Okay. And in the plant cell, we have one large central vacuole and the cell organelles. These are the cell organelles. They are all pushed to the peripheries. The peripheries means to the sides. And in the center, we have a very large vacuole present. This is the vacuole. Okay. It is present both in animal and plant cells, particularly large and abundant in plant cells. The vacuole often occupies a major portion of the cell volume in the plants. It forces the remaining intracellular structures. Intracellular structure means the cells that are present inside the cells, the structures that are present inside the cell, intracellular. Extracellular means the structures that are present outside the cell. So the plant vacuole, it forces all the intracellular structures to the peripheries into a very thin lining. This is the peripheral position. The periphery, they are pushed to the sides, to the peripheries. Dobara dekh lijiye. Vacuoles are present both in animal and plant cells. They are particularly large and abundant in plant cells. They often occupy a major portion of the cell volume in plants. They force the remaining intracellular structures and organelles into a thin peripheral layer in the plant cells. However, in the animal cell, the vacuoles, they are very small and they are scattered through the cytoplasm. The vacuole is bounded by a membrane which is called the tonoplast. The membrane of the vacuole is called the tonoplast. Okay? The large vacuole in the plants and the vacuole in the animals, they are bounded by a membrane which is called the tonoplast. Now, you can be asked a question that how is the large central vacuole in plants formed? Let me write the question for you on the board so that it can become easy for you people to understand also. So you note down the question, then we'll come back to the presentation. Question hai, okay, how is the large central vacuole formed in the plant cell? How is the large central vacuole formed in the plant cell? So इसका आंसर क्या है? Let us go back to the presentation and then इसका आंसर आप लोग नोट करेंगे. Yes, I have an answer from you people also. Let me see your response first of all, then we will discuss the answer. Okay, beta. यहाँ पर I will repeat the whole lesson again. So let us see the answer first of all. The large central vacuole is formed by the coalescence of smaller vacuoles during the plant's growth and development. Question क्या था? How is the large central vacuole formed in the plant cell? The large central vacuole is formed by the coalescence. Coalescence means joining, coming together, amalgamating together of small vacuoles during the plant's growth and development. Now, basically, this is a discussion of the plant vacuole. Let us see it again. The vacuoles, basically, first of all, we are discussing the plant vacuole because it is one of the major organelle in the plant cell. In the animal cell, we have very small vacuoles which are scattered here and there. Vacuoles are present both in the animal and the plant cell, but predominantly we find them in the plant cell. Particularly large and abundant in the plant cells. Abundant matlab bahut sare, large matlab bade. Often occupies a major position of the cell volume. It forces the remaining intracellular structures into a thin peripheral membrane layer. एक और क्वेश्चन पूछा जा सकता है, why are the organelles in a plant cell arranged along the peripheries? So the organelles in the plant cells are arranged along the peripheries because of the force exerted by the central vacuole, which pushes the intracellular organelles towards the peripheries. Animal cell versus plant cell, what is the difference in the vacuole? In the animal cell, we have very small vacuoles or no vacuoles, which are scattered inside the cytoplasm. Whereas in the plant cell, we have a central large vacuole. The membrane of the vacuole is known as the tonoplast. ठीक है, and तो MCQ में क्वेश्चन आ सकता है, what is the name of the membrane of the vacuole? So you have to know the answer tonoplast है, क्योंकि different membranes के options जो है ना वो आपको दिए जा सकते हैं. Now functions of the vacuole, how the vacuole is important for the body, how the vacuole जो है वो body के लिए काम करता है. First of all, it serves to expand the plant cell without diluting the cytoplasm. It stores a lot of water and it keeps the plant cell in shape. It gives the plant cell a kind of support so that the plant cell can stay in shape. It stores a lot of water. It acts as a site for storage of water and cell products or metabolic intermediates. It is a major contributor to the turgor. Turgor का मतलब होता है the pressure that provides support to the individual plant cell. It contributes to the rigidity of the leaves and the younger parts of the plant. This is mainly the function of vacuole in plants. Okay, next cheese here. Now let us go back to the board. Let us go back to the board, and on the board I will write down the summary of the vacuoles. Now, first of all, what I told you was that the vacuoles, they are present in both animal and plant cells. Now you people have to note down everything. Okay, it is present both in animal and plant cells. Animal cells as well as plant cells. If you recall the last lecture, we studied about lysosomes. In lysosomes, now we are coming to the vacuoles that are present in the plant, in the animal cells. Okay, okay, and the lysosomes, I told you that they have a very important function in the intracellular digestion in the plant cell, in the animal cells. Okay, these lysosomes, now let us see. In the animal cells, that mainly the types of vacuoles that we see are the food vacuole, then we can see the contractile vacuoles. We can see the contractile vacuoles. These contractile vacuoles जो हैं, these are mainly seen to be present in the animal cells. In the animal cell, we have the presence of very small size vacuoles. The liquid that is present in the plant and the animal vacuole is known as vacuolar sap, which is mainly seen to contain enzymes in animals or waste materials. It can be seen to contain waste materials. Okay? Then in the plant cell, it is predominantly seen to contain water. These vacuoles, they help to support the cell and give the cell the shape by exerting a special type of pressure, which is called the turgor pressure. They support it by giving it some kind of support and pressure, which is called the turgor pressure. This turgor pressure, now this is for the plant cell. Let me draw it here for you people. Now, if this is the plant cell, this is a rough structure of the plant cell. Okay, we have the cell membrane present inside the plant cell. This is a cell wall and this is the cell membrane that is present inside the plant cell. And inside this cell membrane, we have all the structures that are present. Now, this is the large central vacuole which is present inside the plant cell. Inside this vacuole, we have a lot of water. क्या चीज है यहाँ पर हमारे पास? यहाँ पर हमारे पास क्या है, लिखने की कोशिश करती हूँ. यहाँ पर हमारे पास है बहुत सारा पानी. We have a lot of water present inside it, and this water is going to exert a lot of pressure. And how is the water going to exert pressure? In which direction is the water going to exert pressure? The water is going to exert pressure in this direction. It's going to exert pressure in this direction. And this pressure that is exerted by the vacuole on the cell tends to keep the cell in shape. Because the pressure, it is exerted on the cell membrane as well as the cell wall, and the cell wall becomes very, very rigid. And this whole pressure is said to be the Turger pressure. Bhulna nahi hai is baat ko. This is called the Turger. It's called the Turger pressure. Okay? And a cell that is said to have maximum Turger pressure is said to be turgid. And if in case the cell loses a lot of water, then that is called plasmolysis. Process when the cell loses a lot of water and starts to get dehydrated, then that is called plasmolysis. And if the cell dies due to loss of water, due to evaporation of uncontrolled evaporation of water, then that situation is said to be wilting. Plasmolysis means the loss of water from the plant, uncontrolled loss of water due to a high temperature or a very sharp किस्म की जो है ना sunlight की heat radiation. ठीक है, loss of water, and due to loss of water, more of the body जो है it is going to lose water and it is going to evaporate. Most of the body is going to lose water and the water is going to evaporate from the body, due to which the plant is going to be dehydrated. And when the plant is going to be dehydrated, it is going to lose water. And if this dehydration is uncontrolled, then it can lead to wilting. It can lead to death of the plant. गर्मियों में क्या होता है, अमूमन घास जो है वो क्या होती है, वो जल जाती है. ठीक है, grasses and young plants, they wilt and they die during the hot summers. What is the reason for this? The reason for this is that they are not so strong. They do not have a very big secondary growth support. So what happens when they lose a lot of water? They wilt. And when they wilt, that means that they have lost the water that is required for the support of their body systems. Then उनकी death हो जाती है. Then वो क्या होते हैं, वो मुरझा जाते हैं, वो जल जाते हैं. ठीक है, this is what is the function of the vacuoles in mainly in plants. Now in animals we have vacuoles, mainly the contractile vacuoles and the food vacuoles. The food vacuoles are those vacuoles, यहाँ नीचे लिख देती हूँ, इसका मैं थोड़ा सा कलर चेंज कर देती हूँ टेक्स्ट का. मुझे आप लोग बताइएगा अगर ये टेक्स्ट का कलर ठीक है तो इसी को रखते हैं. Is this color okay, बेटा? If it is okay, if you like the black color, it's okay. If you want me to bring it back to the blue color, then I will bring it back to the blue color. ठीक है? Okay. Now here, what happens now? We have the food vacuoles. ठीक है? We have the food vacuoles. I'm going to write it on the board for you people. आप लोग लिख लीजिए. Food vacuoles are actually engulfed materials which are taken in by the plant by the process of phagocytosis. Phago का मतलब eating, cytosis by the plant. ठीक है? Engulfed food materials, then they unite with the primary lysosomes. And inside the primary lysosomes, after they unite, they become the secondary lysosomes. And now it will be called the food vacuole. Digestion takes place inside the food vacuole, and then what happens? After digestion takes place inside the food vacuoles, the useful material are absorbed by the cytoplasm. They are absorbed by the cytoplasm, and then the rest of the materials, the waste material, is retained inside the vacuole. It is retained inside the vacuole. Then what happens after that? The vacuole is now converted into the contractile vacuole, which mainly contains waste materials and water and all other unnecessary toxins. Okay, and this contractile vacuole is removed from the body by via the cell membrane, via the cell membrane. Okay, ये हो गया, ठीक है, समझ आ गई बात की. अब now let us go back to the question. Let me give you some important questions. This is all for the topic today. Let me give you some important questions. First of all, compare the vacuoles, the plant and animal vacuole. The basic difference between the plant and the animal vacuole. एक तो ये क्वेश्चन आ सकता है. दूसरा ये आ सकता है कि differentiate between vacuole and contractile vacuole. नोट कर लीजिए, contractile vacuole, ठीक है. Differentiate between food vacuole and contractile vacuole. ठीक हो गई बात, ये हो गया, ये नोट कर लीजिए. फिर उसके बाद what is the function of the plant vacuole? Discuss. What is the function of the plant vacuole? अब आप देखिए, ये हो गया क्वेश्चन नंबर 1, ठीक है, ये हो गया क्वेश्चन नंबर 2 और ये होगा क्वेश्चन नंबर 3. ठीक है, मैंने इसमें नंबर्स नहीं डाले हैं, लेकिन आप लोग इसको देख लीजिए. फिर उसके बाद प्लांट वैक्यूल gives the plant the support required. Explain. 3 marks of question. अब इस किस्म के क्वेश्चंस जो हैं वो आप लोगों को जो है वो एक्सपेक्ट करने हैं. नाउ दिस इज ऑल फॉर द टॉपिक ऑफ वैक्यूल्स. In the next class, we will be studying about mitochondria. If you have any question, you can ask me the question right now.